Here it is. All right, so here's the homework for solving exponential equations where you can't get common bases. So step one is you can't get common bases. So now what do I do when I can't do that? Is I need to write it as a logarithm. So that's a Q. So to write as a logarithm, the base is 7, the answer part is 15, and then the exponent goes by itself. It's already ready to go. On our calculator, we'll change the base. On the T-Inspire, you don't. You can just type it in. So here it's ln 15 divided by ln 7. So let's do that. Ln 15. So it's the blue button and X. It's right here above the X. And then again, and you get 1.392. So again, the exponential is already isolated, so we're going to write it as a logarithm. The base is 22, the answer part is 9, and that's 2x. This is ln 9 divided by ln 22. So we're going to take that answer and then divide it by 2. So we're going to go ln 9 so ln 9 divided by ln 22 and then take that answer and divide it by 2. So again, we're going to divide it by 2, so it's 0.3555. Alright, number 3, we already have the base and exponential part isolated. So we're going to write down the log. The base is 2/3, inside is 7/4, and then on the exponent is r subtract 8. So in our calculator, we're going to go ln 7/4, ln 2/3, and then to that answer we'll add 8. So ln 7/4 divided by ln 2/3, and then to that answer I'm going to add 8. So it's 6.6198, like 6.20, I guess, if you go to 3 decimal places. Number 4, the exponential part's already isolated. The base is e. So the logarithm with base e is ln. 4 goes inside, and then the exponent goes to the other side. To get m by itself, you add 6, and that's it. So ln 4 plus 6. $7.386. Number 5, my first step is to isolate the exponential part. So this is the exponential part. So subtract 5 first. So 14 take away 5 is 9. Then write it as a logarithm. So the base is 6, inside is 9, and then it's 2k subtract 9. Now this is going to be ln 9 over ln 6. To that answer, you're going to add 9, and then you're going to divide by 2. So let's go one step at a time here. So ln 9 divided by ln 6. We're going to add 9 to it, and then divide by 2. So it's 5.113. So step number 1, add 9, so I can isolate it. That equals 15. If you have a negative number on the right side, there is no number. Exponential will always be positive. So there's no way it could equal a negative number. So you got to be careful of that. Anyways, we're good here. It equals a positive number. The logarithm's base 13, and inside is 5, and the exponent is 4a. So we're going to go ln 5 divided by ln 13, and then take that answer divided by 4. So again, we're going to go ln 5 divided by ln 13, and then take that answer divided by 4. Get 0.157. Number 7. You need to get e by itself, so I'm going to do the reciprocal. So the reciprocal is 7 over 2. I'll simplify that. 2 goes into 14, 7, and 7 times 7 is 49. Then the logarithm is ln, and it's 49, and then on the other side is 6y take away 5. Next, I need to get y by itself, so I'm going to take the ln 49. I'm going to add 5 and divide by 6. So it's ln 49 plus 5, and then divide by 6. So 1.482. Again, I want to isolate the base here and the exponent. So identify the exponential part. Circle it if you have to. So step 1 is I'm going to subtract 9. That's 32. I'm going to divide by 8. Is that 1 minus 4p? I'll get my eyes here. Yeah. Divide by 8. So 32 divided by 8 is 4. Now it's isolated. Now I can write it as a logarithm. And the base is 11, and inside is 4, and then 1 minus 4p. So make sure you write this, change the base, ln 4 over ln 11, then you can put it in your calculator. We're going to subtract 1, and then divide everything by negative 4. So let's do that together. So we're going to go type in ln 4 divided by ln 11, get an answer, subtract 1, get an answer, divide by negative 4, and then go diamond enter, and you get 0.105. Turn the page. Again, identify the part that's the exponential part, the part that's the base and the exponent. We need to undo what's around it first. So we're going to add 6. So 6 plus 78 is 84. Then we're going to divide by 7. 84 divided by 7 is 12. Then I'm going to write it as a logarithm. So once it's isolated, then I can write log. The base is 10. 12 goes inside. 2n subtract 5. So in my calculator, it's going to be ln 12 divided by ln 10. And then to get m by itself, I'm going to take the ln 12 divided by ln 10. We're going to add 5 and then divide everything by 2. So let's do that together. So ln 12 divided by ln 10. Get an answer. We're going to add 5 to it, and then we're going to divide by 2 and go diamond enter at the end and get 3.039.6, something like that. 3.0, I guess technically it's 40 if you round it properly to 3 decimal places. 10. I identify the exponential part. So what's around it? How do I undo it to get it by itself? So first we're going to subtract 7. So 35 take away 7 is 28. Then we're going to go the reciprocal. So the reciprocal is 9 over 4. 4 goes into 28 7, and 7 times 9 is 63. Right, this is a logarithm. The base e is ln, and inside is 63, and that's equal to negative 3. To get y by itself, divide by negative 3, and that's what you're going to put in your calculator. So ln 63 divided by negative 3. Diamond enter. So negative 1.38. 1. Number 11. Here's an example where you have two bases. So we need to make a choice which base we're going to change and what's going to be our exponent. So in this sense, I'm going to pick 5 to be my base. That means inside the logarithms 8 to the 2c, and that's equal to, on the other side, c subtract 2. So 5 to that exponent, and then the answer part goes in, even with the variable. Now, one of the logarithm properties is 2c can come in front as a product. And then the terms that have a c in it need to be beside each other. So we have 2c log base 5, 8 base 5, and then I'm going to subtract c, so they're together. And then I'm going to factor out a c. So factor it out of both, so then I can isolate it. So it's 2 log 8 base 5 subtract 1 is equal to negative 2. And then the last step is just to divide. And then use your calculator. Now we'll make sure we use it properly so that that whole denominator is going to be in there. So let's make sure we know how to type that in. So when we type that in, let's start with negative 2 divided by, but then I need parentheses for the whole denominator. So I'm going to go 2. Now I'm going to type it in as ln, right? So ln 8 divided by ln 5. So we have ln 8 divided by ln 5, and then subtract 1, and then close the denominator for the, or close the parentheses for the denominator. Then go diamond enter, and you get negative 1.263. A little bit more challenging, but we can do it. So let's try it again. So here's an example. I need to pick one. I decided to pick the one that looked a little more complicated, so I'll do that here again. I'll pick the one that looks a little bit more complicated to start with. So for that one, the base is 2. The answer part is 6 to the k plus 4, and then its exponent is 1 subtract 3k. The k plus 4 is going to be written in front, multiplying. That's a property of logarithms. Then I'm going to distribute. Remember, log 6 base 2 is just a number. So we have log 6 base 2 times k and log 6 base 2 times 4. You can't combine them together, but we can write them beside each other. Then we need to recognize the terms that have a k in it. So we have log 2 base 6, or log 6 base 2. We have a k. Here I'm going to add 3k, so the k's are together. On the other side I have a 1, and I'm going to subtract the other logarithm to the other side. The next step is we're going to factor out the k. And then the last step is we're going to divide. And now it's ready to use our calculator. And wherever we see log 6 base 2, we're just going to use the change of base formula when we type it in. Alright, so here we go. Now make sure the numerators, we got to start with parentheses because I have 1 subtract, and again I'm going to write it as ln 6 divided by ln 2, and then that's times 4, and then close it, divided by, open up another parentheses, keep typing it in. So this is ln 6 divided by ln 2, subtract 3, and then close it for the denominator, and then go diamond enter. So it's 22. Let's see, did it do it what I want to do? 1 subtract ln 6 over 2 times 4, and then ln 6 divided by ln 2, subtract 3, and I get 22 point. Now when I look at the answer key, they get something a little different. Let's see if I made sure, because the answer key could be wrong. So I took the base 2, what was equal to goes inside, and that's the exponent is 1 subtract 3k, right? Let's follow the steps. I distributed the k times 4, 1 subtract 3k. Then the ones that have k in it, so I'm going to add 3k and keep log 6 2. It's log 6 base 2k. Keep them beside each other. And on the other side, I'm going to go 1 subtract and do that. Then I'm going to factor out a k. Oh, here. So when I factored it out, this was a plus sign. So when I changed it to subtracting. So that makes a difference. So let's change this. This should have been a plus sign down here. So let's see if I can match the answer key. So you know what? Sometimes if you make a mistake, just go back and prove it to yourself that you did good algebra to that point, and maybe you'll see the mistake as you go on. So I already typed it all in. I don't need to re-type it in. Just this has to say plus there, 3 instead of subtract 3. So I get negative 1.672. Now it matches it. All right, 2 more. Number 13. So they're both the same. I'm going to pick this one because the exponent is a little bit more involved. So I'm going to write down log, and the base is 7. What goes inside is the answer part, which is 2p plus 1. And then on the other side is the exponent, which is 3p subtract 5. So we're writing it properly as a logarithm. That p plus 1 can be written as a product in front of the logarithm. Now I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to multiply p times log 2 base 7 plus 1 times that is just log 2 base 7. So 1 times that just is what it is. And then I have 3p subtract 5. So identify the two terms that have p in them. They need to be beside each other. So p stays here with log 2 base 7. I'm going to subtract 3p so the p's are together. Here I have negative 5. I'm going to subtract log 2 base 7. We're going to factor out a p. Make sure I don't do something silly with the signs. And then the last step is to divide and type it into our calculator properly. So it's negative 5 subtract log 2 base 7, and then it's log 2 base 7 subtract 3. And now you're ready to use your calculator. So make sure you use parentheses properly. So we'll start with the parentheses. So it's negative 5 subtract log. Now log is going to be ln 2 divided by ln 7. Close the parentheses. And then divide and open a parentheses. Again, it's ln 2 divided by ln 7. and then subtract 3 and close it, and then diamond enter. And I get 2.02, and again, if you round it, it'd be 6. All right, last one for your homework. Good job practicing with me. So I'll take the one that looks, they're both like almost the same, right? In terms of what's happening here. This would actually be a common logarithm. So I might write that so I don't have to write the base every time. So I'm going to take 10, that's a common logarithm, so I don't need 10 there. What goes inside is 4 and 2m plus 4. On the other side is the exponent, which is 4m plus 7. So just be aware of each part, the base, the answer part, and the exponent. Next, the 2m plus 4 gets written as a product. Again, I don't need the base, so I don't need to do that. So it's just log 4. I'm going to distribute, so I have 2m log 4, and I have 4 log 4, and that's 4m plus 7. What has an m? They're going to go beside each other. So the 4m, I'm going to subtract it so they're beside each other. What doesn't have an m, it's going to be subtracted to the other side. And the last step is to factor and divide. So we're going to factor out an m, so it's 2 log 4 minus 4, and divide. Now you're ready to use your calculator. So again, when you have adding or subtracting in the numerator or denominator, we need to use parentheses. So let's do that. So start with the parentheses, 7 subtract 4 times, now it's ln 4 divided by ln 10. And then close it. Divided by, open the parentheses up for the denominator, it's 2, and it's ln 4, subtract 4. Close it for the denominator, diamond enter, and you get negative, oh, what did I do? Negative 3 point something something. So let's see what I did wrong here. 7 subtract 4, ln 4 divided by ln 10. Oh, you know what I did wrong. It should have been ln 4 divided by ln 10. Now let's see if we can match the answer key. Good. So negative 1.642. All right, you did your homework. I'm proud of you. GMath out.